Wrong Room by Nicholas Lay. This night was supposed to be like every other night. I work as an IT consultant, so it sends me traveling to a range of different places, renting crappy hotel rooms and eating questionable pre-made sandwiches on the go to minimize costs, all before sleeping to the static of television and the lullaby of the ceiling fan's sweeping blade. Nothing out of the ordinary, until I woke up. That was 1 a.m. I heard a collection of loud thuds. Bang. 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 Thought maybe it was just some night owls next to me having a little too much fun. But that wasn't the case. Thuds were so aggressive, I kept hearing this strange sound among them, like whispering or chanting. I wanted to go over and say something, but I honestly just wanted to get some air and snacks. The overwhelming weird behind the wall really started to twist my stomach, so I decided to grab a few bucks out of my wallet for some ice cream. Junk food calms me down when I can't sleep. When I got to the cafe, I noticed that the door was locked with a sign saying out to lunch. Fortunately, there was a vending machine there. Let's see. No ice cream, but those chocolate-covered pretzels did the trick. I inserted the bill and grabbed my reward, and spared no time before I popped my bag open to start munching on my way back to the room for some much-needed shut-eye. My mouth watered as each salty, sweet treat passed my lips. I felt my nerves ease finally, but only for a moment before I noticed the room beside mine. The window radiated with this pulsating beam that cut through the opening in the blinds like a death ray. A pinkish red light. These kids really won't let up. I'll have to say something if I want to catch at least a few hours of sleep. I licked my fingers before posting my hand for a knock on the door before it opens. Just a little. Just enough to hear the banging more clearly under the strange chanting sounds. The bang sounded like someone slamming a log into an open paint bucket, or a bowling ball pounding into a watermelon. The smell was otherworldly, stinking of sickly sweet meats and something else I just can't note. I should go to my room and call it in to the front, but I can't. Not without at least seeing what all the fuss is about. I slowly opened the door. Strange fog and gases waft out, making me want to gag. My mouth stays shut in fear of what's coming into sight. As the door swung from left to right, a strange group came into sight. An oozing mass containing something that resembled people entwined in a flesh-ridden net of agony. My body was paralyzed in shock. What the fuck was that? So many appendages, each honing small finger-like extremities moving in chaotic formations, and aggressive glowing yellow orbs moving around within the mass like meat and potatoes being stirred in a stew pot. The very sight of it made me feel like I was going mad, and I believe to this day that I truly was. I could hear the voices of my dead father and mother begging me to walk closer to it. I think it was trying to use my own thoughts against me. It seemed like one yet many life forms at the same time. My head felt hot, and I heard this overwhelming whispering and moaning chant that drowned everything out completely. My head felt like it was going to cave in. That thing just kept growing. I couldn't make it out, nor could I tune it out. This thing wanted something from me. I didn't know how I knew, but the way it moved seemed like it was aware of my presence. The walls started to melt, and the room began to change, forming different rooms that I remember from childhood. I was certain at that point that it was messing with my head. These waves of pain and pressure pulsated within my skull. My eyes felt like they were boiling. I tried to find the door behind me, but it wouldn't stop sliding away from me. The doorknob was consistently out of my reach. That thing was immobile, yet had such power over me. I could feel it picking through my old memories like a hand in a bowl of peanuts. The fright of this sent me rocking in a corner with my eyes closed. I could feel the room shrinking, bringing me closer to it. I could hear the ominous smacking, meaty sounds of it like it was preparing to suck the skin off my bones. I could feel a gritty, slimy tongue-like organ slithering up my pant leg. The ooze that excreted from it burned as it set into my skin like acid. I could feel it just melting through layers of flesh, fat, and muscle. Then I felt the ache of the corner of my leg being penetrated by this large bone-like spike, followed by even more intense pressure, like it was filling me with something thick like molasses. Having no idea what to do, I just screamed with everything in me, and the room just went quiet. I opened my eyes, and the room was empty. Like it had never happened at all. Where it went was a mystery to me. I find some comfort in seeing the cheap hotel wallpaper staying still and the bed empty. Nauseated, I stumble to the bathroom in a hasty, wobbly sprint and relieve my stomach. I cringed, imagining the sight of some cosmic eel slithering out of my throat, but was instead given the slightest comfort to see I only puked up chocolate and pretzels. I started to stand before I felt immediate pain in my leg, sending me to the floor in overwhelming torment. I pulled the sleeve to see that the wound left behind by the creature was still there, and it was throbbing and pulsating. It continued to grow until my skin started splitting, revealing a glowing and blinking eye-like orb aimed right at me. The sounds of my flesh tearing like thick, wet fabric alone made me feel like I was going to black out, but not before trying to rid myself of this bodily intruder. I could hear the whispering again, except this time it was undeniably within my own thoughts. I could feel this being's indiscriminate rage and desire to spread, while feeling overwhelming pleasure consuming what was left of me. Hard bones, coral in appearance, shot from the humongous splitting growth, embedding themselves into the walls and linoleum floor like tree roots. I frantically swung my arms to grab anything, and once my hand got a hold of the toilet lid, I sent it flying into the mirror, causing an explosion of several shards falling on me in the ground. Many pieces fell into me, but it wasn't enough to impede me from picking the largest piece of mirror I could find and stabbing it into that fucking monster. With my first stab, I sent it straight into that glowing orb staring me down. The screams were deafening. The creature pulled away, snapping bone and muscle fibers in my leg in an attempt to get away. It wrenched and tugged till it was ripped from my body. I started to fight. Feeling the hot blood flowing into the form of gushing torrents formed a deep puddle around me. At this point, I knew this unnameable monstrosity had won. My eyes started to close so I could still make out the blurry, fleshy rendition of a spider, patiently watching me fade away. I wake up screaming, in cold sweats, uncertain how I could still be breathing. I was in my room. I had my 2 legs and nothing was growing on them. Without any more questions or even a further thought, I left. I went to the front and paid, and I just left. I couldn't explain what happened, and no one could understand what I experienced. And even though the dreams are over, I can't shake this feeling that something is looking at me from within me.